Hey everyone, Suri here, and welcome to my first week of Chaos Offense matches. I didn't include the full week's matches this time, it's narrowed down to some of the highlights instead. Chaos Season was an unexpected new addition to AR, and I had a lot of fun team building with the new rules in mind. Not requiring mythics for scoring puts a lot of wild options on the table, even with teams being limited to 5 units, and I honestly had a hard time settling on only 5 teams for the week. Hel was an easy pick for one of them. I really enjoyed using her during her bonus week a while back, so having a chance to use her without any penalties involved is a real treat. Backing her up with Fjorm takes her weakness to mages off the table, letting her focus on being an extremely powerful melee specialist, especially with Lilith's support to give her access to null follow-up. Elamine also takes Katria's triangle attacks offline, making it very difficult for any defense to break the pair. I also used them at the start of the week when we had some technical difficulties with defenses. It was fun to see them with raid boss stat lines. This week also gave me some more creative ideas to try out, especially after the recent Summer banner debuted. Summer Edelgard's an extremely flexible unit, and I fit her into a couple of teams this week. This first one is an experimental hit-and-run Gale Force style. Both Edelgards have access to multiple Gale Forces in a single turn, letting them pick off 2 units and still have an action to work with, which is a very fun combination with Ascended Florina and Winter Bernadetta, which gives them a lot of extra mobility, and not just as a way into the fight. Being able to secure knockouts before warping back to safety lets the Edelgards dismantle an enemy team one section at a time, without the usual limits of having to trap or tank the remainder. And it was a lot of fun to play with this week. I also gave Vantage Edelgard a round at the end of the week. A lot like older multi-hit swords, Edelgard's a powerful Vantage sweeper as long as she can get safely into the 75% range and not get windswept. Bernadetta gives her very easy access to that first condition, and the combination of Fallen Minion and Legendary Byleth give her a nearly unstoppable bonfire in every combat. Now that we've gone over the teams, let's get to the first match. This match will be a fun debut for the Slaydelgard Squad, partly because they've got a Summer Edelgard of their own on their defense team, and they've even given her an Ascended asset already too, which is fun to see. They've also got some Super Guidance shenanigans of their own on this team, with this Ninja Green, and a Harmonic Katria to enable triangle attacks for the Harmonic Leaf, and the Yune. And the Peony too, I guess. It's a neat squad, and they do a pretty good job of actually threatening this area of the map and making it hard to approach or hit and run safely. I do like this setup, although I do think leaving this tile in front of Edelgard open might be a bit risky. Even if Edelgard herself can handle a lot of melee combats without too many issues, it does leave the Igreen and Katria pretty exposed to a ranged unit getting in here to snipe them. We're not planning to do that though. We're going to have some Edelgard on Edelgard violence going on, and we'll just get things started on the very first turn. We're going to start off, obviously, by having Florina start Ardent Sacrificing to give Edelgard a way out, after she goes in and starts cleaning up the team. And once we've gotten that, we should be able to just go in and start cleaning up. And with Edelgard out of the way, it's very easy to pick off the Igreen. Before warping all the way back out to safety. Thanks to the safety fence, they don't get to do anything on this first turn, which means we can just move Edelgard over a tile and have our legendary Edelgard start moving in.
My warmest greetings.
But she's not really going to participate much this time, since we can just have Summer Edelgard walk in and take down Katria, and then take out their Harmonic Leaf. And then finish off with Yune. Edelgard's not going to have any issues tanking a round of combat with Peonies, so we'll just have Florina warp forwards and break our first pot, and have Bernadetta take out this tactic rune. From here, we'll just have a few more movement shenanigans to reach this pot in the corner.
My warmest greetings.
The super guidance half of Florina's effect lets Slaydelgard get all the way over there to reach it.
Sure.
And we'll let Florina close out the match. This match is going to be a bit slower. They've got a bit of a boxed-in setup here with a few spooky units behind this wall, including a legendary Claude, Nanna, and Sita. They've also got the bonus Yune here for a bit of a lift loss mitigation, and a boxed-in Azura in one corner with a boxed-in Fallen Edelgard on the other. This really doesn't feel too hard to handle, as long as you actually do respect the Sita, Nanna, and Claude. And the Azura in the corner makes for a very easy knockout for whoever your bonus unit is. I'm not expecting us to have problems here, it should be a pretty straightforward match overall. And it'll be a good chance to let Hell style in a less one-sided match than the first one of the week. We'll start just by having her test the Bolt Trap, and okay, that means this one's real. So we'll just have Lilith step on that and test it. Okay, that's 50 damage. It's alright, Hell has 52 health, so we don't actually have to worry about getting her out of that range. And then we'll just dance her.
A good day to
And flip Lilith out of the way.
Yes?
And let Fjorm move up this way. We're actually going to take one more turn before we get things going. I'd like to false start the speed and attack tactics that Azura is giving to Claude. So we'll just take a moment and wait for that to happen. And now that we've done that, we're just going to move Hell in, break the statue,
Fine.
and smite her all the way into this opening.
Lady Niffle.
And have Fjorm swap Lilith,
I wonder
and then have Azura dance her forwards to
if I must.
move in here and provide us with some extra buffs. Oh, I did forget about the panic, but even with that, Claude isn't actually outspeeding Fjorm, so we're fine. Meanwhile, Nanna, while she does get to disable all of the defensive specials, she still doesn't turn off Hell's Miracle. And that means Hell has absolutely no problems handling her. And since Hell is also panicked, Sita has no buffs to steal.
accept your death.
And then Yune, well, she's not having as good a time with Fjorm as Claude. And then from here we can just start closing things out. Claude's not going to have a good time with Hell. The Unity means that she's got more than enough speed to punch through that fallen star. And then we can continue marching forwards. We'll have Lilith move up here to break this panic manner,
Without question.
to dance Hell and let her move over
Good
to
day to die.
pick up our first Aether pot and deal with Edelgard.
Yes?
And we'll just move Fjorm up and wait. Even if Hell actually misses this knockout, and I don't think she will, Azura shouldn't actually be able to do enough damage to finish her off. The Triangle Adept does a little too much work there. And the Bright Shrines are doing a lot of work for Hell here. And from here we just have a pretty leisurely stroll over to take down their Azura and close out the match.
Yes.
I'll protect you.
We're running down the clock a little bit, but that's okay. We still got a couple of turns to go.
A good day to
So
die.
we'll just break that pot,
Where?
smite Azura in,
I wonder.
and send her in to close out the match. This match is going to be a fun one. They might have a bit of a boxed-in setup here. And the team's just all lined up against the back. But this is this is one of those teams that just really shows off some highly invested units, including this +10 freshly resplendent Effie. And this +10 Norn, who's very cool to see. Hurts a bit to see someone sacrifice an Alencia for this, but it's fair. Norn's a pretty good candidate for that weapon. The real highlights, though, are this bonus week +10 Mia, and the other +10 Mia over on the side. They're both maxed out, and this Vital Astro build for Mia is really, really effective. Combined with Spurn and the extra dodge she gets from her weapon, along with null follow-up, it can be very hard to actually do damage to her unless you manage to outspeed her, and when she's this invested, that's not an easy thing to do. It's a very cool team. I'm looking forward to seeing Hell break through most of it. We're going to take this first turn, though, just to make sure that we deal with Yune first, before Hell starts tanking her way through everything else.
A good day to die.
We'll just have her break her way through here and dance her over to test this bolt trap. Oh, and it's not real.
Speak.
I wasn't too worried about it even if it was real, but it's always good to not take that extra damage for free.
Where?
Then we'll have Lilith warp up here and break that healing tower for us, and say go. Yune moves in, gets pretty easily demolished by Fjorm. And without Yune, there shouldn't actually be anything left on this map that threatens Hell. They'll move forward and start getting in through this broken wall. But the combination of this Bright Shrine and the Panic Manor means that Hell actually is never going to worry about any of this once we smite her forwards. Since the Panic, combined with Unity, actually ends up protecting these buffs from things like Effie's Refine and Norn's Lull, and ends up making her pretty absurdly fast.
I will go. A brilliant
Also
point.
let L9 start working her way towards these Aether pots,
Yes?
and say go. Yep. Nourish Command comes through, but it's not really going to change anything here, since the only thing it clears is a panic effect. And while Mia can do a lot of damage, it's not fast enough
Accept your death.
to hit twice. Which means Hell doesn't really care. And we'll just continue the chain of events right here. We'll smite Hell forward to refresh her buffs and then just move her back into position. Norn can't reach Lilith here without a dancer involved, so we'll just move L9 over
Without question.
and dancer, and let her start opening the way towards the second Aether pot.
I'll protect you.
Norn attacks into Hell, but again, can't actually double, let alone secure that Brave effect from the weapon.
On your guard!
And Vital Astra is pretty spooky,
Death is absolute.
unless it runs directly into that miracle effect. And Ike and Effie can't reach us. From here we'll just bait Norn a little bit further forwards to make it easier for Azura to pick her off next turn,
Ah, yes.
Speak.
while L9 breaks our second Aether pot,
Lady Niffle.
and then we'll just say go. Poor Norn.
Pin you down.
She just can't quite nail that double. And Ike, well, the damage reduction does a lot for him here, especially with the bonus week stats on top. But even if he does survive, he's not going to really accomplish much. Unfortunately, this Panic Manor and the Attacksmith from Ike are really not helping Azura in her quest to secure Norn as our bonus knockout.
Death comes.
So this is probably going to come pretty close to the end of the match here. Hell's not really a problem, or Ike's not really a problem for Hell, but Effie's not moving in the right direction for us, which is a little bit annoying. Then have Azura dance Hell and let her break this tactic
A
rune for
good
us.
day to die.
We'll move Lamine over just a little bit to have Fjorm swap her and keep Azura and
Fine.
Lilith safe. which should mean that Norn just goes directly into hell and continues to do absolutely nothing to her, while Effie slowly moves up to this way. And from here we should be able to close things out. Zora can finish Norn off now that she's not dealing with attack smoke. And then we'll smite hell over to the left, and let her move in to close out the match.
Accept your death.
This match will be a fun one near the end of the week. They've got a bit of a Catria ball here, with some extra guidance support from both Catria's Seal and the super guidance from Ash. It gives the team a lot more mobility options in case Catria gets Elemined, and they're rounding that out with a bonus week Corrin, not using Shield Pulse, potentially for Elemine, although the chill attack can also get Elemine, so I'm not really sure why they ended up replacing it. They've also got a very nice backup threat and Dancer and Micaiah on the other side, and a bonus week Yune. The real star of this, though, is this maxed out Ascended Idun, who's a very solid far save unit, and was actually one of the people they brought along to visit my defense earlier. It's a fairly basic setup overall, although there is a bit of a trap here where Micaiah can actually jump forward to attack past the structuring thanks to the extra guidance from ability from Ash. But they're not actually using a bonus structure here, so there's a fortress advantage available to the attackers, and that definitely helps swings fights in their favor. I think we should be able to get things going on the first turn here, with our patented Slaydelgard nonsense.
I can do it.
We'll start with having
Maybe.
Brittany and Florina open things up, and oops,
Time to go.
then reposition Summer Edelgard forwards
A new
and dance
dawn.
Florina.
I'll
And that
face
should
it
let
head
Edelgard
on.
move in and take down Ash and get her
wish you
Gale
luck.
forces online. The Preface is a nice touch to try and avoid this being a thing, but it's not quite enough here. From there, we'll have Florina move in and Ardent Sacrifice Bernie again, which lets Edelgard move over to take out the Corrin,
I'll study your technique.
before warping all the way back out and saying go. From here we should be able to start cleaning out the rest. We'll move Florina forwards here and check this heavy trap,
Understood.
which is real. Then have Edelgard warp forwards to knock out Micaiah. Then we'll also dance Florina here,
Time to
and
go.
have Edelgard take down Idun. Even with the damage reduction, the second hit's enough for Edelgard to clear that out. Then we're actually going to smite Summer Edelgard forwards,
Your
and
plan.
move Edelgard over without actually using that last
face it
attack,
head on.
which means Summer Edelgard can go in here and get
I
her
wish
own
you
Raging
luck.
Storm on Catria
Let's
before moving
swim.
over and boxing Yune in place.
Over there, right?
And then it's just a matter of picking up one Aether pot,
My warmest
and
greetings.
dancing Florina, grabbing her second pot, letting
Over
her
there,
close out the
right?
match. This match will be a fun way to close out the week. They've got a fun team here, including this plus 10 bonus week Reinhardt, and a bonus week Letitia on the other side, along with the Florina here, and Docker in front. Florina and Docker actually give this team a lot more mobility than you might expect, especially for this Edelgard in the corner. who's a lot less trapped than she looks at first, since she does move before Florina, and if Florina herself doesn't get baited, she'll end up warping out of this corner and getting danced by the peony, which can easily catch people off guard if they're just trying to bait the Letitia and Reinhardt without worrying about anything else. It's a very cool team, and the attack tactic does some work here too for enabling the bonus doubler from Dogger, and Letitia's weapon. The one thing they don't have on this team though is any kind of sweep effect, and I think we should be able to just let Slaydelgard sweep this with her Vantage Kit this time. We should be able to get things started right away and move on from there. And after we have Slaydelgard reciprocate Bernie, she's already in vantage range, and Bernie can just smite her forwards. Then we'll move Byleth in to support, have Florina Ardent sacrifice her, and then dance Florina, and just open up this cake. We should be able to just go down the health chain here. Dogger moves first, since she has the least health to lose, followed by Letitia. Then Reinhardt moves in and gets himself bonfired.
Succumb to the waves.
And then we should end up seeing Slaydelgard. Oh, she didn't move all the way forward. Interesting. I guess that just means we get Florina instead. And from here, we should just be able to start cleaning things up. Slaydelgard's going to move over and then get danced. And she should be able to just take down their fallen Slaydelgard here, thanks to that special fighter effect.
Succumb to the waves.
And from there we should be able to just start stalling out this peony with Ninian while we pick up Aether pots. Ninian and Florina are actually both solid enough to take a hit from this peony, so we can just have Byleth move all the way forward and get towards this one.
I can do it.
And we'll have Bernie start moving over towards the other one. Yep. She moves in towards Ninian, which is fine. And we should be able to close things out here. Byleth can grab her first pot, and we'll let Slaydelgard break her throne. Bernie break the school.
Yes.
Dance Bernie, and have her go pick up her second Aether pot. And let Florina close out the week. That was a fun one to finish with. We ended up having a lot of fun with Chaos Season. It's a great debut for it, and I think it's a neat break from the usual weekly tread of AR. It's a lot of fun to be able to just really open up the team building and not worry so much about having to include 2 or 3 mythics in the roster. I really enjoyed using Hell this week, and the Summer and Legendary Slaydelgard duo was a lot of fun too. I don't think it'll be too effective outside of Chaos Seasons, but in them it can be pretty ridiculous. I do have a Discord server if you'd like to hang out and chat or get updates on videos and schedules. There's a link in the description, and I've also got a Patreon link there too if you'd like to help support the channel. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video, good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.